Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network. Welcome to Gun Sports Radio, all about shooting, hunting, self-defense, and more. Now, here are the hosts of Gun Sports Radio, Dave Stahl and Lance Pelkey.
All right, folks, you want up or down?
Up. Come on.
No, that's not you. Okay, let's try this.
I think the last one.
What are you doing, Dave?
I got it. I'm good.
Some technical.
I know. I'm just in the radio voice. Yeah, are you good?
We're always prepared.
I'm good.
You're sure? Let me find out which one is you. Oh yeah, there you are, right there.
Even better.
I think
right.
we're on Gun Sports Radio with Lance Pelkey and Dave Stahl.
Hey,
Oh,
come on.
just because you guys took over one time, you're already taking over again.
Everybody's a critic.
This is Gun Sports Radio Show 68. I can't wait till it's 168,492. Hey, we really want to thank Gun Range San Diego for all of their support. These guys have been with us since day one. 7853 Balboa Avenue in lovely San Diego, 10 to 10, 7 days a week. thegunrangesandiego.com. You really, really, really need to check this out. 10 to 10. You need to go there. They'll hook you up with all sorts of wonderful things. It's what I call the Nordstroms of gun ranges, just not the price. Hey, that's a great segue. Who we got calling?
Hey, well,
Nordstroms?
before we do that, we have our guest, Mark's here, Mark Van Buskirk, and so he was we were at the Gun Range San Diego today, right, Mark?
Yeah, as someone that has never been, just had a great time.
First time, huh?
First time.
Okay.
Had a wonderful time.
Where's he at on our
We're
list?
shooting, and also he was with a paramilitary guy, according to KFMB.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look at me.
KFMB or KUS? Yeah. KFMB,
Yeah,
Channel
he's
8.
with a paramilitary camp guy.
All right.
That'd be me, so supposedly.
That'd be you.
Oh yeah, that's me. See, here you go.
Which one's you?
With the
The
hat.
little guy?
Horrible picture right there.
That little guy right there?
Yeah, that little guy right there. Yeah, paramilitary.
All
So
right.
anyway,
Well, hey, let's go ahead and jump to Marcia Nordstrom. She is a candidate for the San Diego County Board of Supervisors. How are you this afternoon, my dear?
I am well. Thank you for having me on.
Our pleasure.
So, Marcia, you're running for county board.
That's correct.
So, for the folks that are listening who don't know, the County Board of Supervisors is kind of like a city council for the entire county, and it's divided up into districts. And, Marcia, which district are you running in?
I'm running for District 4.
And which covers?
Oh, that covers La Jolla, the beach areas, all the way down the coastline into Little Italy, downtown, Old Town, Encanto, parts of Skyline up into West Webster, Claremont, UTC, Kearny Mesa, and Linda Vista.
Nice. So all the taxes that are collected on the county level, that's the big thing that you guys decide is how that is spent. And basically anything that's outside of an incorporated area, you guys have a lot to say about what goes on in the unincorporated areas. And you also, one of the big things you do is provide the budget for example, the Sheriff's Department. Now, talk a little bit about your background. What made you run for county board?
Well, I've actually had a long history of being involved in local grassroots politics. So I know the city council people over there in the San Diego City Council. And I was actually looking to run for city council, but the incumbent, Lori Zath, is running, and so I won't run against her. And so the other open seat is the supervisor's seat.
It is open. So who's terming out?
Ron Roberts is terming out.
Ron Roberts, and he's a long-time county board. Gosh, he's been on there for like 20-something years.
yeah. How do you term out? He's been there for so long.
Well, they just passed the term limits.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is, I don't know, what was that, 4 or 6 years ago? So this is the after the term limits. This is the end of his second term. So there's going to be a big shake up in the next next 2 to 4 years when it comes to the county board. So what do you bring to the table as a supervisor? What do you bring to the table?
Well, I bring my experience in working on a grassroots level. So what does that mean? Is that I've got a background and experience in working with people. So we've worked with people, community groups, law enforcement, government agencies, our elected officials, as well as individuals, to address problems.
Oh, Marcia?
Yes.
Oh, we lost you there. So
you say I sort of bumped out a little bit.
So
oh my gosh, are you?
To address,
still there?
Yep. To address problems. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm sorry. So yes, to address problems that could, be anything from speed bumps to, nuisance problems like the short-term vacation rentals. So what that does is working with people, you learned how the agencies work and how to come to the table and work out solutions. Because a lot of times when you have a problem, it's not just one or two possible solutions or issues. You may have 4 or 5 different perspectives, that come to the table. So you need to work with everybody. And if you don't make everybody happy, but at least you can come up with a solution that allows you to move forward. A lot of times that's a win-win.
So some of the things, I'll tell you what, let's get to the Second Amendment issues. A lot of the one thing that the county board has a lot of say over is many of the outdoor shooting ranges are in the unincorporated areas, like Lemon Grove Rod and Gun Club, South Bay Rod and Gun Club. Talk a little bit about where you stand on Second Amendment issues, and specifically, what would you do to protect some of these outdoor shooting ranges that society is kind of moving towards them, and housing areas are being built closer and closer to shooting ranges that have been there for 50, 60, 70 years, and now they're moving in next to a shooting range or close to a shooting range, and then complaining that they're hearing gunfire, that sort of thing. But talk a little bit about how are you going to protect shooting ranges, and do you have an interest in protecting shooting ranges?
Well, first of all, I do have an interest in protecting the shooting ranges, and I'm an advocate for the Second Amendment. I believe that it's a right, and it's also a choice. So I don't want other people telling people who would wish to own a gun that they can't. So when it comes to development and shooting ranges, if a shooting range has been there and they're legal and compliant, development that is moving into the unincorporated areas, we do need housing. We need affordable housing, and we also need housing that's affordable. But, everybody has a stake in the neighborhood, and so we need to work with the businesses and the shooting ranges that are already there. Doesn't mean that they have to go away.
In general, how do you feel about gun ownership, and in general, how do you feel about people's ability to keep and bear arms?
I believe that people should have they have the right, and they should be able to make that choice. There's some of these other the guns that are. I'm sorry, I'm at a loss of words. But in general, I just think that people have the right, and that they should be able to make the choice for themselves. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. So if you don't have a gun, you can find another means.
Well, more importantly, guns give people the means to protect themselves from people who want to kill people.
That's exactly right. And we've got instances where that's exactly what has happened, that if somebody didn't have a gun that they were able to use to stop a shooter or a serial killer from actually, killing more people, it would have been a lot worse.
So generally...
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, not at all. I didn't mean to interrupt. But generally, so one of the things that comes up a lot, and we talk a lot about it, and a big reason we talk so much about it is because it's something we could have a direct impact on here in San Diego, and that's carry concealed weapon permits that are issued by the sheriff. As if you were elected on the county board, how would you work with the sheriff, or what would you do to help expand the ability for a sane, trained, law-abiding citizen to get a CCW from the sheriff, or do you agree with his current policy?
I don't agree with the current policy, and I would want to know why it is that they are against the concealed carry. There are rules in place. There are ways that things that people need to know in order to be able to carry a gun and be able to get a gun. So I would want to know what their concerns were, and then working to address them in a way that allows people to be able to get the concealed carry permit. Nice.
Okay, so in general, it sounds like you're very much in favor of people's ability to practice their Second Amendment rights, to be able to keep and bear arms. And I got to tell you, you're running against a very dangerous opponent on your Democratic side, Nathan Fletcher, who is very anti-gun and extremely hard to nail down when it comes to any position. The guy's waffled on everything. I've watched this guy's career from the very beginning, since before he was elected to the assembly, and he's running for county board in your district as a Democrat, and he's just absolutely a horrible, horrible candidate. And this is such a great example of why we need folks to get out and vote. I can tell you that Marcia's answers are outstanding compared to where Nathan Fletcher would stand. Marcia, if people want to learn more about you and donate and get involved in your campaign, what should they do?
They can go to my website, which is nordstromforsupervisor.com. I'm sorry, so nordstromforsupervisor.com. And I'd be more than happy to, if they have any other questions or wish to meet with me, talk with me more about the issue, I'd be more than happy to meet with them or talk with them.
Great. That's Nordstrom and then the number 4, supervisor?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Nordstrom, FOR, supervisor.
Excellent. Okay. Anything else you want people to know about how they can help you out, or anything else you want them to know about your campaign?
I think that they just need to know more about the issues. They need to make the decisions for themselves. I believe that you need to be more aware of how the politics that's out there does affect them, and they need to be well informed in order to make a good decision when they cast their vote.
All right, Marcia, thank you very, very much for taking time out of your day. You have a wonderful Sunday. That's pbnordsy@aol.com. All right, folks, we're going to take a small break. Our pleasure. You're listening to Gun Sports Radio right here on AM 1170, The Answer. All right, welcome back to Gun Sports Radio. I'm Dave.
Hey, baby. I'm Lance.
And what was that girl's name?
Christina Cortina.
So thank you very much, Christina, for listening in on Gun Sports Radio.
Where's she live at? How far away?
She's all the way in St. Louis.
St.
She used
Louis.
to live here in
We
San
got
Diego,
listeners in St. Louis.
moved out to St. Louis, and that's where. And she sent me a thing on Instagram saying she loves the show.
Good. Well, that's what we like to hear. Hey, this segment is brought to you by Trident Gunsmithing. Well, you know, last week, Trident Gunsmithing threw out a 3% above cost on all in-store firearms and rifles and pistols. Well, guess what? They're going to run it all the way through Thanksgiving. In-store only, so you need to get over there. Plus 5% discount on ammo, 10% discount on all other accessories. They do the hunter education course there. I'm telling you, you folks really need to check these guys out. That's TridentGunsmithing.com, TridentGunsmithing.com. And do us a favor and tell them you heard it right here on Gun Sports Radio. Hey, we got John Dillon on the line.
Uh-oh.
Our world-famous attorney at law. And tell you what, folks, if you ever need a lawyer when it comes to gun ownership of any kind, cafirearmslaw.com, cafirearmslaw.com, or you can call John at 760-431-9501. He is part of the Gatsky, Dillon, and Balance LLP law firm. And John has become rather well known with his expertise in this area because we don't have a lot of lawyers in California that are even thinking about
on this side of it. Yeah,
but John is definitely on the side of you, the Second Amendment. Person that believes in the Second Amendment, the gun owner. John is truly on your side, and if you're lucky, he'll take you boar hunting with a bow and arrow. He sits in the tree, and you run along the ground. He's just trying to find somebody to sign up. I don't know who's going to do it. Maybe Joe. Hey, John, how's it going, buddy?
How's it going, guys? It's quite an intro.
But don't you like that idea? If we can get Holyfield to just run around. I mean, he can run really fast.
I'm not going to say no to that. That would definitely be an entertaining day.
Well,
put a little apple in his mouth.
But see, that would be the problem if he's running around and you're sitting at a tree with your bow laughing harder than you can possibly. You'll never shoot nothing, so that's not going to work. We got to get it different.
I think that'll be a successful day just watching Joe run around like that. I don't even think I need to hunt anything.
You know, Joe's the first time not saying anything. He's not jumping on board.
All I'm thinking is I can't wait to do this, but I'm going to wear the new Alone and Unafraid Silkies.
No, not the Silkies again. Oh. So, hey, buddy, tell us some good news.
Well, I don't have a lot newsworthy, basically, other than, there's a number of federal regulations that are being proposed and announced all across the board, mostly by our Democratic representatives, trying to push for more regulations on assault weapons. But frankly, I don't think those are gaining too much traction, and I don't think we need to go too in-depth into them. But because of that, I did want to go over our own assault weapon stuff that we have here in California and just kind of give a little reminder to those people who either haven't decided what they're going to do, whether it's to change the configuration of their firearms or register their guns as an assault weapon. I figured we'd just kind of go over, if you wanted to register your weapons as an assault weapon, how do you do it? Excuse me. So basically, you have what they are abbreviating as the CFARS website, the California Firearms Application Reporting System. Type in CFARS assault weapons in your Google search box, and it'll be the first link there. That's where you will go to register your assault weapon if you choose to do so. The original registration deadline was January 1st, 2018, but that was actually pushed back 6 months. So you don't have to register until July 1st, 2018. However, do not wait until then to register. We saw when this website first came out, it crashed the first couple days. It was even made public. And if you think it was bad then, 2 days before registration deadline, when everyone's trying to scramble to register their stuff, I would not rely on that website to stay up and running with how many people would be using it. So that's just a good
And if I'm correct, John,
to consider.
Didn't they come out and say when they first put this out there that if you went past the deadline, there was no excuse of such things like the website being down, or didn't they come out and say that?
So there's no excuse whatsoever. And I was out of town. I was sick. The website wasn't working. None of that will work. There's absolutely no excuse. You have to do it before that date, July 1st, 2018, and it is before July 1st, 2018. Do not go on your computer on July 1st, 2018, expecting to be able to register and everything like that. Do it well beforehand, so you're not leaving till the last minute. But just a little summary of what's going to be required when you do register. I will hand it to them. They have laid out the step-by-step process on the website, and you can go through it and get a lot of information on exactly how to do everything. But they're going to require the description of the firearm and any and all identification marks on firearm. Multiple digital pictures are going to be required that you're going to have to upload, submit. You're going to have to provide the date you acquired the firearm, your name, address, or the name and address of the place where the firearm was acquired from. So if you bought it from a local gun store, you got to be able to state, where the gun store was and what the name of that store was when you bought it. And then all your personal information. So, your name, address, phone number, everything that you normally have to submit when it comes to buying a firearm. And that's just a quick, overall summary of what you're going to need to do. They are going to allow joint registration of assault weapons. So if you and your wife want to register on the same assault weapon, that is possible.
I've heard that the couple that assault weapons together stays together, so that's really nice.
Exactly.
Well, John, no offense, but all you've been talking about are legal gun owners. How come we never talk about the things we're going to do to criminals that steal guns and do the things that are illegal? You ever notice that?
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of laws that are proposed and passed do very little to combat actual illegal criminal activity. It is, further restrictions on people who already legally own firearms and have done nothing wrong with their firearms. It makes it extraordinarily difficult and confusing, especially if you're not, I'm going to call you an in-depth firearms owner in the sense, someone could have bought a firearm and they may go shooting once or twice a year. In fact, I think a majority of the population that owns firearms, they do not go to the range that much. They don't, go out every weekend. They're not involved in a bunch of organizations like San Diego County Gun Owners. And so they're not always up to date on what's going on. And so what you have happen is a lot of people who don't pay attention because they, understandably, they have never done anything wrong, and they legally purchased their firearm, and they think they're totally good to go. And so they don't stay up to date with the ever-changing laws. And they come July 2nd, 2018, they're going to, read something in the paper or, something online and realize that, I didn't register my firearm because I didn't know I needed to until right this moment. And they'll be a criminal at that point. And it's a scary thing to think about.
Well, aren't they see, here's my other thought. Aren't they concerned that by all these rules, regulations, and the fact that they're totally ridiculous, it's going to start pushing, in my mind, law-abiding citizens down the road of illegality? I mean, it sounds to me if they keep this up, people are just going to say, fine, I'm just not going to register. I'm just not going to tell you if that's the way you're going to be. I'll keep all my bullets. I'll keep everything. It just seems to me like they're pushing us into a situation where they want us to do something illegal.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, there's, I'm sure you guys have all seen it. There's a big do not comply kind of push from some people that their argument is, hey, I've never done anything wrong in my life. I don't plan on doing anything wrong. But these, restrictions and new laws are unjust or unconstitutional. And so they're choosing to not obey the law, which, as a lawyer, I cannot recommend that in any way, shape, or form. But these laws and how they are implementing them, it is forcing people to make that choice.
It just makes me crazy.
John, I hear that a lot, too, from people that say, hey, I'm just going to keep it in my safe and no one will ever know. And they kind of, ask, well, gee, are they really enforcing that law and say stuff like that? What can you talk about as far as, I know you can't get into specifics on individual cases, but, how are people getting enforce
these laws? And the fact that, you have no criminal history, although sometimes it can help, it won't really. I have had clients that have had to deal with this type of stuff, and just because it's not out in the open and safe doesn't mean that nothing will ever happen. A good general example is when you're dealing with divorces. Many times, a lot of the family and divorce attorneys they will immediately instruct their clients, hey, let's get a temporary restraining order placed against your spouse. It's part of the divorce process for a lot of people, especially if it's a highly contentious divorce. When you have these restraining orders, it prohibits you from owning firearms. Once that's entered into the system, California has, the records, and they know whether or not someone owns firearms. And they can come to your door and walk right in and take everything. And depending on if you're someone who chose not to comply and just stuff something in the safe, that can cause a lot more problems.
Or you don't register your firearms, and then somebody breaks in and steals them, and they're unregistered and they're not compliant. Then what do you do? I mean, do you claim it stolen?
Right. Well, and then if somebody does use it and they find out you didn't register it.
Exactly. Well, even if you claim it stolen, then they found out you didn't register it. Or, we live in a high fire area. You live up in East County and where there's a lot of fires. Yeah. It's really not a good idea to not comply.
All right,
and that was a big issue up in Northern California with all these fires, is people coming in and coming back and seeing that all their firearms are stolen. It's a big problem.
Oh, my gosh. All right, Mr. Happy. That's gonna be your new
hey, let's go
moniker.
kill some boar. Yeah,
he's ready. He's got tennies on.
Good.
You guys are ready. All right, John, thank you very much. That's from Gatsky, Dillon, and Balance. www.cafirearmslaw.com. cafirearmslaw.com. Don't get in trouble. Let John help. Folks, hey, welcome back. You are listening to Gun Sports Radio. Joe's having his own show over here.
Joe, you having your own show over there?
Hey, you can listen to us at AM 1170 The Answer. That's the app. Or you can go to the website, download it. You can like us on Facebook.com/gunsportsradio/. Or you could even go to iHeartRadio and catch us there as well. This segment is brought to you by the good folks at Gun Range San Diego, 7853 Balboa Avenue, 10 to 10, 7 days a week. GunRangeSanDiego.com. Go to the website. You will be blown away. It's a Nordstrom range without the price. This segment is brought to you by them. And Joe Holyfield, Hollywood, commonly known as, is in the house. And I found my 50 cal no-go gauge.
No-go gauge.
And I forgot to bring that silly thing in. Well, you got to remember, this thing was from 1966.
What do you do with it?
I don't remember.
It's for the headspace timing on your 50 cal, the Madus.
Oh.
And if you don't...
screw it all the way in until it stops, 3 clicks back, use your no-go gauge, and there's little marks on there. If it makes it through a certain mark, your headspace is good.
That's right.
You can fire your weapon.
And if not, it's really ugly. But don't ask me why. I've been hauling this thing around since 1966. And I looked at my drawer and I'd seen it. I was going to bring it in and show it to you. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But they still, I guess they have to still use those, right?
They still use them.
To this day.
As much as they use the Madus,
Yeah, interesting. That was mounted on my M88. I'll never forget that. Anyway, so hey, what's kicking, chicken?
We are still kicking off the 12 Guns of Christmas here at the Gun Range San Diego.
Let me show you how to work that phone.
Yeah, it's horrible. And I am so technologically unsound, it's not even funny. Somebody was making fun of me today.
People make fun of you?
Yeah, they're like, you spent how much money in guns or whatever? And I told them, and then they said, well, I can't say anything. I spent that much money on a computer, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't even have a home computer. I don't even have a computer at my house.
Okay, now let me ask you the real important question. How much music do you have on your phone?
I have Pandora. I don't need any music.
See, I don't have any music on my phone because it's a freaking phone.
I have Pandora. I don't
need
music.
Dude, it's a phone. You don't need music on your phone. I'm not asking you because you look like you're all musically inclined.
Well, yeah, it's...
you're a rocker.
There you go.
You're a rocker.
Yeah, I like it when he gets...
You got music on your phone?
We were playing the Ohio Players on Pandora on Saturday night.
Gosh,
absolutely. Awesome. Ohio Players.
All right. So, hey, what's kicking?
Remember that, Mark?
We got the 12 Guns of Christmas, and this week is the Remington 870 stock combo. So it comes with both the regular stock and the pistol grip. You can interchange them whatever you want.
Oh.
Retails for $450. We've got it for $309.99.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
But get this. Between now and the 27th, Remington is giving a $60 rebate on all 870 shotguns. So you come in, you buy the gun for $309, take your receipt,
mail it in,
take a picture of it, email it to Remington, and they'll send you a $60 gift card.
Wow! So
now that's a Remington
870.
870. Now, what kind of reputation does an 870 have? Has anybody ever used that before?
Oh yeah, there's a few.
One or two.
Yeah. Well, federal law. It's a federal law enforcement uses the Remington 870. The Marine Corps uses the Mossberg 500. The Navy uses Mossberg 500, but federal law enforcement uses Remington 870. I would venture to say the 870 has breached more doors than somebody who breaches a lot of doors.
What's the Army use?
The Mossberg.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a Mossberg.
That's why I bought mine.
Yep. I love my Mossberg, but it comes down to people always ask me like, what's better, the Mossberg or the Remington? I'm like, well, it's like, do you like a Mustang or a Camaro?
Yeah.
They both do the exact same job.
So you buy both.
You get one of each.
All right.
Then you can play Huckleberry.
This is going to run from Sunday to Sunday?
It runs from Sunday to Sunday, and if you get it before the 27th, you're going to get that $60 rebate. So you're getting this, or $60 rebate. So you're getting this thing for what is it, like $260?
Merry
like
Christmas, man.
Yeah,
People ought to be buying the heck out of those.
Yeah,
if you don't need it,
$250
buy
for a Remington
one.
870.
Can somebody come to Gun Range San Diego and get a gift certificate for someone to buy a gun?
Absolutely. It happens all the time.
How can you do that?
Happens all the time. Well, you come in and say, hey, I want to buy my loved one, my friend, my brother, my sister, whomever, my boyfriend, girlfriend, or if you want to buy me one, I want to buy Hollywood a gun.
You'll take it.
Absolutely. One more will fit in the safe.
That's right.
That's always the answer. How many will fit in your safe?
One more.
And you come in and, if you want to just do a straight denomination, you can just buy a straight denomination gift card. Or if you say, I want to buy them this very specific gun, we will give you the out-the-door price and, down to the penny, and you can buy them for that.
And then he or she has to come in.
Then he or she
and do
comes
the
in
paperwork.
and does the paperwork. Absolutely.
So I got some. I got some trivia on the Remington Model 870.
Somebody's got the Google box out.
Yeah. Well, it's not trivia. I got some interesting facts. Okay. So in service since 1950. That's when the Remington 870 first came out. Was 1950. Since then, 11 million of them have been built.
Wow.
11 million since 1950. And just in the United States, some of the mostly it's like you said, police forces that use it, and some of the more notable: California Highway Patrol, the LAPD, the Sparta, New Jersey Police Department, the Alaska Department of Corrections, Texas Department of Criminal Justice, and on and on.
Wow.
Plus, it gives a whole lot of other militaries like Thailand's military, the Taiwanese, Switzerland, Sweden, Singapore, Poland, Philippines, Malaysia. This thing is well known.
And I tell you, you can buy. They're super fun because you can buy all different types of stocks, magazine extensions, sights, shell saddles.
You can hop this thing.
Yeah. There's a ton and ton. So you buy this thing, you get $250 invested in it at the end of the day.
A whopping $250.
And then you save up a little money here and there, and you can accessorize the heck out of it. But we talk about this in this show all the time about spending your money wisely between the gun and the training.
Yeah.
So, let's say your budget to buy a gun is only $500, so you could have bought the Remington anyway for $450. Now you have the money to buy that Remington and get with Manny or any of our other instructors.
Can I do both?
Range.
Can I buy a gift card for the gun and a gift card for the training?
Sure, and you can put it all on one gift card.
Wouldn't that be something? I mean, because that's a smart way to do it. Don't just buy them a firearm. Buy them the training.
Buy them the training as well.
Even if it's somebody like Joe who's had all the training he could possibly handle, you could always use more.
Manny, who's been on the show before, he's our lead trainer over there at Gun Range San Diego. We were sitting there talking today about wanting to sign up for some
more
training because somebody always brings something new to the table. Mm-hmm. And then, sometimes people bring something silly to the table, and you're like, no, I'm not doing that. But it's like I saw a dude on the, don't get your training from YouTube, whatever you do.
Oh, Lord.
Garages are full of YouTube mechanic rejects.
Yep.
And, armories are full of YouTube armorer rejects.
Oh, man.
And cemeteries are full of YouTube trained tactical guys.
Yeah.
So don't get your training
Don't be
there.
messing with that.
Yeah. So come, spend the money, get the training the right way. And, so for $250, you put another $250 in it, you got a ton of ammo and some great training.
And did you open up your training facility?
Well, we got the classroom open.
The classroom,
We got the big classroom open next door. We just bought this huge TV for giving lesson guides and things like that.
Oh, great.
But Remington's not the only one giving rebates right now. Smith & Wesson is $50 gift card on all revolvers until the end of the year. The A400 Beretta is a $150 promotion code, and like I said, Remington 870 is $60.
Now you may not know, I'm putting you on the spot, but it seems like a lot of manufacturers are doing this rebate thing, which is always a good promotion for them.
Right.
Any insight as to why everybody's running these promotions right now?
They do it every year. It does seem more profile right now because honestly, gun sales have kind of gone down this year compared to years previous. I think the political climate has made people feel more at ease, like they're not going to lose their rights. To which I would respond, don't forget about the 10th Amendment. Trump may be who you think he is. However, it's your state controls your gun rights. So don't give up on fighting for your gun rights just because Trump's in office. But these manufacturers do this every year. Springfield does a thing every year where they do the magazine giveaway. They do that every year. But this year was a really big deal, because people thought they were doing it to up sales. But they all do these seasonal type.
Plus it's
things.
holidays.
Yes, holidays, that kind of thing. It might be something across the board. Smith & Wesson might be sitting on a ton of.
There you go.
Revolvers across the board. Yeah, of whatevers, yeah. And we still have the Glock 26 for $479. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that on there. That's below there. But we got, and then we still have the 12 Guns of Christmas. And we're going to have a ton of Black Friday doorbusters.
Really?
Yeah, we got the, we're going to be doing that Glock 26 I just mentioned, even cheaper than what I just mentioned it. We're going to be doing, 10/22s, the KSG shotgun, which is a big.
Love that thing.
It's very popular, and it's going to be about $200 less than it was a week ago.
And Laura, if you're listening, a KSG shotgun will fit perfectly in my stocking.
Yeah,
because he has room for one more gun.
Yeah, one more gun. That's great.
And the stocking, no less.
Yeah, but we just can't emphasize enough on, giving you the best gun for the right budget so you can get the training in there as well.
And that Springfield, too.
We got the Springfield a stainless mil-spec right now. Beautiful. For something ridiculously low.
And you said that chambered in both the 9 and 45?
Well, the one that's on sale for $729, the Springfield 1911 on sale for $729, is chambered in 45.
Yeah.
But we do have that Springfield 1911 in 9mm. It's a
Love
little
that 45.
All right. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we have another very special guest on the line. We have Lara Smith, president of the Liberal Gun Club. She'll be chatting with us momentarily. This is Gun Sports
That's like
Radio.
an oxymoron. You don't hear that often, do you?
No, you don't. Right here on AM 1170, The F.
Dodge Ram. Jump.
Folks, welcome back to Gun Sports Radio. This segment's brought to you by Trident Gunsmithing, www.tridentgunsmithing.com. That's your one-stop gunsmithing shop. 3% above cost on all in-store firearms. That's rifles and pistols. All next week. He extended the big deal, so get ready for Christmas. 5% discount on all ammo, 10% discount on all accessories. That's TridentGunsmithing.com, TridentGunsmithing.com. Hey, before we go to our guest, Joe, what's your holiday schedule for Thanksgiving?
We are on Thanksgiving Day. It's going to be a short day, but the weekend we're going to be there.
Okay, but you're still going to be open Thanksgiving Day?
As far as I know. I haven't been told otherwise yet.
Check the website.
Will do.
All right. So, Michael, is Laura your guest?
Yes, she is.
Very good.
Laura is the president of the Liberal Gun Club.
Right.
Which I was talking to her last week, and she said that they've seen a huge spike in membership and interest. So I thought we'd have her on the show.
Absolutely.
As you know, San Diego County Gun Owners is a nonpartisan group.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that everybody across the political spectrum, whatever your political philosophy is, respects your right to keep and bear arms. So I wanted to have Laura come on and talk a little bit about that.
All right.
Love it.
Hi, Laura. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Hey, we're doing a gun show. How much more fun could you possibly be having unless we are at the range?
Well, true. I just bought a 1886 L.C. Smith shotgun this week. I haven't had a chance to take out, so I might have more fun with that, but this is second best.
Yeah, there you go.
So tell us a little bit about your organization, the Liberal Gun Club.
So just to correct quickly, I'm the president of the California chapter of the Liberal Gun Club. I'm the vice president and the national spokesperson for the national organization. We're a national organization of liberals, not Democrats, but liberals all across the board, everything from libertarians to communists, who all respect the right to keep and bear arms.
That's interesting. Now, what's the main goal and focus of the Liberal Gun Club?
The main goal and focus is education. So we do quite a lot of outreach. We have training programs. We have instructor programs. We have shoots. We have get-togethers for our chapters. We have national get-togethers. We're working on putting together a program to teach people who've never been around a gun how to safely unload one if you find one. We think that's a big issue, especially in communities where, your kid may bring one home or where there hasn't been a lot of education on guns. That woman in Florida who fired the handgun to see if it was loaded when she found it in the sitting room with her kids. Incredibly lucky she didn't kill her child.
Wow.
So we want to keep stuff like that from happening.
Sorry, I got to pick Dave up off the floor ever since he said the word communist. He's I got to help him back into his chair here.
I'm thinking a communist with a gun. A communist with a gun. I don't know. Is that a good thing? I don't know.
We are partisan in that we are really for the more liberal side of the spectrum.
Right.
But we are pretty strong Second Amendment supporters. Our kind of tagline is every single civil right for every single person.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's just get it out in the open. I mean, everybody, not everybody, but many people are thinking, well, gee, how can this be possible? Because, many of the gun laws, just about all the gun laws you can think of that are passed in California are started by, championed by typically Democrats that describe themselves as being politically liberal. It's turned into a, liberal versus conservative, Republican versus Democrat. How do you, talk a little bit about that, and how do you address that, and what are your thoughts on that in general?
Well, I think it's better addressed as that it's a Democrat versus Republican issue. I think that this is where the liberal politicians are wrong, but I actually think supporting the Second Amendment really is a liberal position, right? That liberals should be saying, hey, we support the Constitution, we support sort of, right? So it seems, at least in the political divide as we see it in this country, that conservatives are kind of more the strict constructionists and the liberals are more, no, these things develop. And this is the one issue where that seems to get flipped on its head. But to be a true liberal, you ought to be saying, hey, look, I might not like this civil right, I might not agree that we need to have it, but I'm not going to stop somebody from doing this because I don't like it.
So now what happened? I mean, if you go back a generation or two, I think it was very much a liberal issue. There are a lot of quotes by Kennedy and many others that are very favorable about civilian ownership of firearms for defense and that sort of thing. So what, in your opinion, what happened in the last, 30, 40 years?
I think media happened. I think that the parties saw a wedge issue. They didn't, I say this a lot. I really think that abortion and guns are really the flip side of the same issue. Each party's stance on this makes absolutely no sense if you look at what they're supposed to stand for. And I think that they are simply emotional wedge issues, and one party picked one and the other party picked another, and neither one of them makes a bit of sense, but it works well in the media. And I think one of the other things that happened is both those issues lend themselves to sound bites, right?
Yeah.
And
they do.
And they're fear politics. That's
right.
What they're about, and both parties like them, and this just happens to be the one that the Democrats picked. And I think both parties are wrong on fear politics, but I'm happy to call the Democrats out that this is wrong.
And you're you actually live in the Bay Area, right?
I do. I'm actually sitting in Berkeley talking to you right now. I live close to Berkeley.
Are you ducking?
No. It's really funny. We have a ton of ranges here. We've lost a few. Interestingly, mostly because of the cost and value of land and the sound issue. Not so much that it's guns. But when you go to the ranges here, you can't get a bench. You can't get a spot. Most of the gun clubs here are completely full up or getting ready to close their memberships. It's amazing.
So when
lots of people shoot here.
When you're in a room full of liberals and you are outed as being pro Second Amendment, how does that go over? Talk just a little bit about what happens. What's that experience?
That experience often is really positive. A lot of my friends are mostly fascinated that we do this, but I'm out about this. It's all over my Facebook page. I mean, I've been on national and international news. It's not like I hide this. So my friends mostly know. When people start talking about it, I talk about it a lot. I have lots of people who say, "Hey, would you take me to the range and teach me this? Like, I really want to learn it, and I'm not supposed to, and I can't tell anybody." That is the most common reaction. Wow. Occasionally I get the, "You're an NRA partisan hack," and to that I say, go read my blog posts and my opinions on the NRA. They don't like me very much. Like that. I get that very, very occasionally, but for the most part, I get a positive response. And I think that positive response comes from the fact that when you look at surveys even now, about 25% or more of Democratic households have a gun in them. It's not like this is really a political divide. It really is that the media makes this a political divide.
Geez, what happened to journalism? All right, hey, Laura, I'm going to have to let you go, but I really thank you for calling in, and I'm sure Mike will have you on down the road because you're a bright, fresh air. We don't normally hear that, so we appreciate it. So people can go to Lara Smith's at the
Well, actually,
Liberal.
what's the website for the Liberal Gun Club?
So our website is www.theliberalgunclub.com. You can see our forums, our blog posts, and we also have a Facebook page.
All right. Well, hey, keep up the good work. Stay in touch and be safe.
Thank you all for having me on.
Our pleasure. All right, folks. Well, we're just about out of time, but we want to thank Gun Range San Diego for all their support, Triton Gunsmithing, Gatsky, Dillon, and Balance, all hard workers. And we're going to let this guy talk.
Yeah, let's.
Did he give you any money yet? Did he give you any money yet? He didn't give you any money yet?
Gave you the money.
And who are you, sir?
My name's Mark Van Buskirk. I was CEO of GovX and founder of Oakley's Military and Government Sales Division and Distribution.
Oakley's, like sunglasses?
Yeah. We made all
my favorite sunglasses. I don't care what anybody says.
Made all the combat eyewear, boots, gloves, and goggles.
Sweet. So, and now today's the first day you went shooting at the Gun Range San Diego? What, do you live in a box?
I pretty much had the best job on planet Earth. I met those that protect and serve, but nobody was shooting at me. But I traveled the world for Oakley.
No
good times.
Kidding.
Yeah.
So you got
saved a lot of eyes with that Oakley eye protection too.
So you brought us all our Oakley sunglasses. What a great guy! Shit, which color shall we pick? Oh, you didn't bring any. Oh, okay. Well, you're not.
But I spent the day with Lance out at the San Diego gun range.
Did Lance get any Oakleys?
No, he's actually wearing Gators today.
I'm wearing Gators.
He's a Gators guy.
I know,
yeah,
but
Gators.
a lot of the SEALs have switched to Gators as well.
I don't like Gators. I don't like the metal, and they're too cold. I like Oakleys.
Good people. They're all good people.
No, I know. But the Oakleys, you can break them apart. You can change the lenses. I sound like a salesman. But so, how was your experience at Gun Range San Diego?
Amazing. I didn't know what to expect, but I can tell you as you talk about what that range is like.
Was I right? Nordstrom's of gun ranges without the price.
Exactly. And Manny, who helped me a little bit today, was spectacular.
Oh, yeah.
Just friendly staff. Just a beautiful looking facility.
Yeah.
Facility is spectacular. And for someone that has never been into a gun range before, it was a really great experience.
That's fantastic. By the way,
throwing rocks at every other gun.
By the way, you do know you're moving to Berkeley. Because Veronica just heard that they're getting ready. They don't have any room. They need more room. They need more gun ranges. Yeah, pack them up, buddy. Yep. Can you imagine Holyfield in Berkeley?
That'd be awesome.
That'd be a hoot in itself. All right, folks. Gun Range San Diego. Give them a shout. Trident, Gatsky, Dillon, and Bounce. But make sure you go sign up for the San Diego County Gun Owners. You've got to sign up. In fact, go to their Christmas party on the 12th. Where's it at?
L. Smith.
All right, we're out of here.
Right there.
Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network.